In a quiet mountain village, wrapped in snow and silence, an old man and his wife lived in a thatched cottage at the edge of the woods. Their days were simple, shaped by seasons and the strength of their hands. They had no children, no wealth, and no luxuries, only each other, a warm hearth, and a deep well of patience. As the final day of the year arrived, the snow fell thicker than ever. The sky was the colour of ash, and cold wind whistled through the bamboo. The old couple huddled by the fire, their cupboards nearly bare. "I wish we had a little mochi rice to celebrate the new year," the old woman said softly, pouring the last of their tea. The old man smiled gently and patted her head. "I've woven 5 straw katsa hats. Perhaps someone in the town will buy one. I'll go to the market and see what I can do." He bundled himself in layers of worn cotton, placed the hats into a cloth sack, and set off into the snow with a straw cane in hand. His breath rose in clouds before him, and his footprints trailed behind, like little ponds in the white snow. The village market was nearly empty. Most people had already finished their shopping, preparing for the long night ahead with family and food. The old man stood for hours, calling out gently, "Straw hats for the snow! Fine hats for the new year!" But no one stopped. Some were too busy. Others simply shook their heads. And the sun slipped lower. The old man sighed and turned back towards home, his bag still full. The wind picked up, snow swirled around him. He passed by a small clearing, where 6 stone Jizō statues stood in a row, half buried in snow. Their stone faces were calm and still, but the snow piled on their heads and shoulders, giving them a lonely, forgotten look. The old man paused. He brushed the snow from their heads, one by one. Then slowly he reached into his bag and began to place his handmade katsu straw hats on top each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the time he reached the 6th Jizō, he realized he had run out of hats. He looked down at the last statue, bareheaded and silent beneath the falling snow. Without hesitation, the old man took off his own headscarf and gently tied it around the 6th Jizō stone head. "Forgive me," he said softly. "It's not much, but it will keep some of the cold away." Then he bowed respectfully and continued on his way, empty-handed. When he returned home, the old woman greeted him with a warm smile and open arms. "I sold none of the hats," he said, shaking snow from his shoulders. "But I used them well. I gave them to the Jizō statue by the path. They looked so cold." Her eyes sparkled as she took his coat. "That was a good thing, husband. A kind thing. We may have no mochi, but we have each other. Let's share what we do have." They ate a small meal of pickled radishes and rice gruel by candlelight, then sat together by the fire as the snow continued to fall. Outside, the world was white and silent. They went to sleep in their straw-stuffed futons, not expecting anything more than a peaceful end to the year. Sometime past midnight, a sound broke the silence. Clomp, clomp, clomp. The old woman stirred. "Do you hear that?" she whispered. They rose from their bed and crept to the window. The snow outside shimmered in the moonlight, and in the distance, walking down the path, towards their home, came 6 figures. Stone, grey, round-faced, wearing straw hats. The Jizōs. Each one carried something: bags of rice, bundles of wood, ropes of vegetables, and a heavy sack slung between them. They marched in solemn, rhythmic steps, then gently laid their gifts before the door. One paused, as if to bow, before they turned as silently as they came and disappeared into the snowy woods. The old couple opened the door in stunned silence. Laid before them were rice cakes, fresh vegetables, miso, dried fish, warm firewood, and even a small pouch of coins tied with red thread. They saw what you did, the old woman whispered, eyes brimming with tears. They remembered your kindness. The old couple spent the new year not in hunger, but in warmth and joy. They shared some of the wood with neighbours, lit incense for the Jizōs, and placed a small offering by the path where the statue stood. Each year, they continued to make katsa hats, not to sell, but to give to the 6 stone guardians who had once walked through snow and darkness to thank a simple man for his compassion. And though they never saw the Jizō walk again, they believed it could happen if the heart was open and the world was quiet enough to listen.